Whatever it was, something was affecting the pockets. But it wasn't enough to stop Anthony Hamilton from seeing off Marcus Campbell. The defending champion was determined to hold on to his trophy for just a little while longer. Victory over Billy Snedden saw him safely through the first barrier. The same could not be said for all the top 16. The champion 10 years ago, John Parrott, was sentenced to immediate execution by Michael Judge. Fergal O'Brien was condemned to exile by Mark King. Alan McManus was written off by accountancy graduate Patrick Wallace. And Marco Fu was cut down to size by Chris Small. Quinton Hann was driven off by Dave Harold, and with him, Fu and Tony Drago all bowing out, the tournament soon became an all-British Isles affair. Nigel and his Bond girls came dressed for a kill. Unfortunately, the former finalist had the living daylights knocked out of him by the world 005, Stephen Lee. And the champion of 3 years ago, John Higgins, saw off the challenge of Graham Dott. He knew he would. You see, he'd met this bloke in a nightclub.
He said he'd actually seen me playing Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final of this year's World Championship, and he said I was going to come out the winner.
Worth a flutter? Maybe not.
Yes, I'm just going to highlight this area here.
What have you done? Something had finally electrified Peter Ebdon. After a marathon against Stephen Lee that went to the final frame and an extra session, the 96 finalist was through to the quarters. Going out, however, was the defending champion. Against Joe Swale, Williams suffered the curse of first-time champions as the Belfast boy bounced back from 10-6 down to win another final frame thriller. Indeed, the Crucible was becoming a theatre of Irish eyes a-smiling. Michael Judge was up on Ken Doherty. The 97 champion was to have the last laugh. Northern Ireland's Patrick Wallace had a chuckle with Mark King, but Wallace's 13-5 win left the Englishman really chewed off. It was John Higgins who won the all-Scottish encounter against Chris Small, but we knew that already, didn't we? Paul Hunter had been making all the headlines before the tournament. In contrast, his opponent Stephen Hendry had had a remarkably unobtrusive build-up to the championship. But it doesn't take a clairvoyant to know that you can never write off the 7 times champion. Hendry easily through, 13-5. These pockets were still playing up. This time it was Matthew Stevens who was left bewildered. For his opponent, Anthony Hamilton, it was a case of déjà vu. But this time, he was the one who bounced out. Stevens winning, 13-5. Once again, there had been talk of Ronnie quitting, perhaps just wishful thinking from his opponents. Dave Harold certainly had no answer for his explosive talents, O'Sullivan beating him 13-6. Joe Swale was up against Patrick Wallace, this year's unknown quantity. Unknown to most, that is, the two are lifelong friends, and Swale made the most of his inside knowledge to squeeze through 13-11.
I work hard all day to try and make things right. I give it all to you without a fuss or fight. Seems your love for me is coming to an end.
Inside knowledge counts for little when you're up against Ronnie at his best. No wild scene from Peter this time, just acknowledgement that he was beaten by the better man on the day. Does Ken Doherty believe in soothsayers? Maybe he does now. Higgins continued along his long foretold path with an easier than expected victory.
You're gonna miss me when I'm
And Matthew Stevens probably had things easier than he expected against Stephen Hendry.
But baby, I'm moving on. Watch me now.
Hendry never really hit form, while last year's beaten finalist always seemed in control to send the Scot on his way home.
You're gonna miss me when I'm gone. You're gonna know that you were wrong.
While Matthew was busy fixing his cue, Ronnie and Joe faced each other in the first semi-final.
Be wise, be smart, behave, my heart. Don't upset your card when she's so close. Be soft.
Joe was desperate to go one better than last year, but Ronnie was just too good. O'Sullivan was through to his first final, 17-11.
Be so close for comfort, be wise.
Forget the cue, the semi between Matthew and John was a classic.
My heart, don't upset your card when she's so close. Be soft, be sweet, but be discreet.
The pair matched each other shot for shot. Then came frame 32, and a full hour later, Higgins was through to the final. But we knew that was going to happen, didn't we?
Have we got some hot shots for you this year in the Embassy World Championship?
We think this is the best lineup ever.
I think we should have a look at them, eh?
I mean, this was a big shot. He needed this to get on the brown.
Well, I can't believe how he's got the screw. Yeah, I mean, look at the reaction on the cue ball.
It reminded me of Perry Mann's, that one.
Terrific shot, that one. Now, this is the other part of the game. Look at the scoreboard. He's 20 points behind. He can't take the pot on, so he thought, I wonder could I get in behind the pink. But, I mean, what judgment here, Steve.
Loads of right-hand side, 4 cushions. Absolutely perfect behind the pink there.
Great shot.
He won the frame.
Great shot.
Well, I think this is the best shot to nothing I've ever seen in my life. I mean...
Well, you say a shot to nothing, but look at the green over the pocket. It looked like a wild shot, but that was an unbelievable pot, wasn't it?
He'd been put back in by Andy Hicks there. What was Andy Hicks thinking?
And what an escape from the snooker this was. Patrick Wallace is sort of tight up against the black.
He swerved it to start with, and then the spin on the ball as it went down the nap of the cloth has curved it round the pink.
He's hit it with right-hand side, and then, as you say, against the nap, it just missed the pink.
Mark King leaded the points. He must have just slumped down in his chair after that.
What a shot. Great shot.
This was to make a 140 break if possible, and he was completely out of position on the black, the worst place.
Well, he's almost straight, and if he plays it with side, left-hand side, he's going to go into the middle pocket. But what a shot to avoid the middle pocket and finish perfectly on the yellow.
Well, take a look at the scores. He needed that red, it was stuck by the pink.
Great thinking there, and to avoid the blue, hit the couple of cushions. He needed that red out, and he did go on to win the frame. That was a fantastic shot then.
Take a look at this white ball, it just takes off.
The backspin he's created here is incredible, and the pace that he's got into it, he's actually hit 4 cushions and finished perfectly on that red.
That's my favourite.
Yeah, but it's not up to you, Steve. It's up to the viewers.